What up, crew? It is Gambler. Welcome back. You can see on the screen Crossfire 14. We're going to be time stamping this one. This is going to see, as from the title, when you spawned in and maybe you didn't, you're either playing free to play or you just haven't had a lot of time to play. I'm going to be kind of going over and showing you what I do when I'm trying to fix or trying to catch up on one of these servers. So you guys can see, I'm gonna get a little comfy here. I've got a nice little list here of things I want to go over, and they will be time stamped so you guys can see at the bottom if you want to jump ahead into anything for you new players. And maybe at the end I'll have some stuff like an overview portion of maybe talking about the server and maybe my thoughts on this server and future ones that will be happening. But for you new guys, you guys can see on the screen, this is, you can see my starter protection. So here, 1 day left on my protection, which means I've been in the game for 48 hours. But I started extremely late. Anytime you guys want to kind of cheat and see maybe when the server started, you can always look around and see what other people's starter protections, the amount of time that's left on them. So you can see these three people right here, all of their starter protections that fall off only have 14 hours left. And you guys can see mine, I have a day. So that means I started 10 hours late, which obviously means that I missed the first round of tasks when you start on a new server drops, which is extremely bad. Typically, for you new guys, you really do want to get, if you're brand new to the game, you're still going to jump into these servers and learn the basics and stick with them. But part of the process of this game is these servers are released every 2 weeks, and the reason for that is because people want to plan for certain maps. They want to drop with their friends. They want to take a break, and there's no other easier way for these servers to drop other than on a schedule. So with that said, if you are brand new to this game, you can see currently when I post this, it'll be almost 3 days since this server dropped. So Crossfire 14. But we're going to be touching on a lot of the basics here. So if you guys want to just pay attention a little bit and look at the timestamps, we're going to be going over some of the basic stuff. So this was my starter. You guys can see the build a little bit. Can you see the build? Only thing I'm really covering up is the refineries. They're all level 10. Nothing too exciting here. Basically, on Crossfire, you guys can see the map here. You got these arms that split out, so 4 different sections going, like, you look at it like this: north, south, east, and west. And there's nothing really too exciting going on here, besides, especially at your starter, you're going to be able to do a little bit of flares. You can do a little bit of raiding here. And obviously you can be running missions. You can do all the basic stuff at your starter, but I've always focused on, when I send out my first station, I want to get away. I want to get away from the starter. There's nothing wrong with these starters other than you're going to be possibly surrounded by other teams. If you hit random, like I usually do, like on this one I did, I hit random, and it randomly sent me to any one of the 4 starting locations. You can see I have them kind of colored here a little bit. You can, you're going to be surrounded by. I mean, I've played with ST before. I'm not worried about that. But you're going to be, as soon as your protections fall off, unless you have a missile battery, you have a bunch of ships here, you're going to be vulnerable to attack. So just fair warning. That's why when you're building up and you start focusing on getting you get your refineries to 10, you start focusing on maybe some early ship production, like getting a docking bay or some patrol and Corvette production going. You're going to want to I change my capital away from where everybody else is, and once again, if you guys haven't seen my videos already, I focus on trying to get away from everybody else, try to find a place where I can kind of fit in on the map. I kind of scouted a little bit. I'm kind of alone in my own little area here, and one of the main things that I focus on, and I want you guys to focus on as well, is I kind of did this in an obscure order, but you guys can see down the timestamps that I'm going to be going over the ways that you get early game resources. But my focus when I hit level 10 is to at least scout and make sure I can find one of these 7-point moons. Extremely important for you new guys. The HSA, the heavy ship assemblies that you make in your outposts here, they require, you guys can see this, you can pause this, the moons, anytime a large moon, medium moon, and small moon. So large moons give you 3 points, medium moons give you 2, and small give you 1. They're going to help with your production on making heavies, and if you put your capital ship assembly here, you can also look at that on outposts, unique, and then the only unique one that you can make applies the same logic or concept, which, 3, 2, 1. For your capitals, you want to find one of these 7-point moon combos. And with that said, this location not only caters to that idea of getting your ability to get into early game heavies, any kind of heavy ship. You guys can see on this destroyer, frigate, gunships, and recons, and troop carriers, but you're not going to be making troop carriers for a while, are all heavy ships. And then when, later stages of the game, you can get into carriers and dreadnoughts. But you want access to at least possibly some early game heavies, for sure. This is extremely important. But back to the concept of this video. So you new guys, I'm going to touch on, actually, since we're in the starter, we're going to touch on rating. So with rating, your combos for this, if especially if you're Zayok or that's what you want to focus on, like instead of you having this docking bay here, you have the fleet docks, and then you get Department of Acquisitions. Your acquisitions gives you plunder and cargo, and you get fleet docks to make your corvettes or your patrols faster. So you can kind of combo making a bunch of corvettes here, and then you can start finding and raiding all these level 1 marauders around you. And just, you can use your pins, so you guys can see this up here. You can, like, there's a couple of guys in my I have 3 people in my alliance right now, and all 3 of them have come back to the game. So they're practicing good basics, which is when you raid something, you can come in here, hit a hex, and go to place a map pin. And if you've cleared this marauder, you can put a pin on it and put the time. So you can see this. You can put the time on there, and you can track all these locations around you that you've raided, and you can come back to them like every 12 to 18 hours and get like a routine. So if you're doing raiding, that's one way. So you make a bunch of, you come in here and you make, let's say like every single one of these fleets was 100 corvettes, and that's all you're utilizing your labor for, is just making a bunch of corvettes. I'm actually going to queue up a couple of ships here. So you can get a good routine doing it that way. So you can come up here and do this. So you can go, I don't have a spy. So let's say I spied this. So you go here and you spy it, and then you get a message in your spy reports, and it might tell you a location has resources at it. So this, if I spied that right now, and it has 1,200, 1,400, 1,600, 2,000 resources at it, you can utilize your spy reports to just see if it's worth your effort to go to this location or not. So that's kind of rating. And then what I focused on. So the next step in this is running flares. So when I sent my station out here, not only what did I have a idea of trying to get one of these 7-point moons in my possession, but it's also I landed right next to. I mean, obviously, I really if I wanted this, I could have put my station anywhere in here, but I chose to hug this right side. So if I could have easily put my station over here. Okay, I could have easily put my station over, you know, anything within 4 range of this hex. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I could have put my station here, but I chose to put my station in my landing position here, because what that did was it's hugging early game. I don't have a Stargate here, so touching on flares. My focus here was when I landed and I started building this up, I wanted to focus on flaring. So you can see I have at this location, you know, I have 4 suns here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, at least 10 to 12 suns here in the early game that I'm gonna have. That I chose. I was like, man, okay. How am I gonna make resources when I fly out here? I don't want to have to just rely on passive resources. I want to come out here, and if I'm able to utilize something, and so that was what my big focus on this build was flaring at my new workshed station. So I'm gonna queue something up real quick, and then we'll do this. So actually I'm gonna do this real quick. So this is part of the build. Do I want to do this? No, I don't. Okay, so what's happening here, I'll actually touch on this. So when I landed out here, my first idea was I knew I wanted Helios. You guys can see this. When you run flares, you're using your industrials. So focusing after you've landed the station, you can. What I do is I change my capital out here. When you do that, you go to logistics, you go to your stations, and you see these little dots here. You can change your capital, and that's what I did. So I changed my capital, and what that allows you to do is on any of your other stations, you can rally ships here. So when I build ships at my starter, I can rally them to my capital. So wherever your capital is located, you can rally ships to. I'm going to turn this down. I'm kind of peeking here just a little bit on my mic, but you can rally ships here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm rallying a bunch of. I want to probably make at least 300 or 400, maybe 500 industrials out to my new station out here, and so that's what. Maybe I'm just gonna queue up a couple here. I just want to keep my ships. I'm babying this thing right now. You guys can see this. All my queues are under an hour. I'm just babying the shit out of this until I can really start diving into my build. But that was my focus. So not only do I know that this is what I want to do out here, I've taken the time to make a couple of scout or scanners. So I've got all of these suns lit up. You can see I've dropped 3-day or 72-hour probes on all these suns. So every single one of these suns out here are lit up. That are all really close to me, and you can see this like right now. You know, of these 12 flares or suns, we've got 1, 2. Actually, there's only 2 up right now, but earlier there was like 7 flares up. So you guys can see if you just focus on one thing. So not only is this location going to have Helios. The other combo for running flares, so you guys need to understand this concept. When you have, you're feeding labor, so stations have a labor pool. So you go up here to logistics, and you look at your stations. You can see my starter right now has 908 labor, and my new capital has 685. And then you can go to your fleets. So you look at your industrials. Both my industrials are being fed by my starter. So if I go look at my starter and I look at the buildings, so this is a combo. So trailer manufacturing is supplying my industrials with cargo space, and then truckers haul also gives them less labor to function, and they give them speed. So you can see this, it makes them faster and it makes them cost less labor. So the huge part of this is the speed. So if this trucker's haul was level 10, I would be getting 5 speed on my industrials. If at this location I had my Stargate and I had a level 5 Stargate, that would be another 5 speed. Helios gives them 5 speed. And there's just a lot of there's other things in the game like policies and all that stuff that helps speed this up, like cards. So you can see this flare monitor card gives it +2 speed. So you're going to be flying out of this location. Like, let's say I had like 4 or 5 industrials that all they did was just run flares. So anytime I log in, there might be 4 to 6 of these suns flaring that I can run industrials and flare from this location. This is just a huge, massive. If you're out in a location alone, it's really, really a broken and really good investment to help you kind of start pumping some resources into your station. So and then in turn, once you've got a couple hundred industrials and you start like this one, so you can see these 147 industrials have 19,000 cargo space, and I did that on purpose so I could clear this sun. As soon as these suns are cleared, they can reflare anytime. So you guys need to pay attention to this stuff. And anytime, like if you're doing this by yourself, you need to be clearing these so they can reflare, and you can come out here and get more resources. And the goal of this investment, it's really, really hard to get 300, 400, 500 industrials at the start of the game. They cost time and they cost your resources, and they're slow. I mean, if you don't have Helios, they're going to be really slow. But once you start getting that infrastructure set up, they start running. Then eventually, you've got 4 or 5 stacks of these hitting 5, 6 suns at a time. Then you're just bringing in crazy amounts of resources. And my goal that I did with these is to reinvest it back into the station itself. So you can see this for you new guys, touching on. Actually, this will be the next part of this video. So we're going to be touching on like your first station options out here, which is I have a video that I've already made that explains these workshed stations, but that's what I chose to do with this location. So you guys can see this, getting your economy set up. So you can see the bottom here. I don't have much here. I got lucky. I got a Sam Darby, but nothing else. I mean, okay, I have a Wither Crux on this thing, so it's giving me 300. But you can see my passive resources are not high. The station is not good right now, but we're getting it set up. So what I've done is we're going to upgrade this. So that's why I'm not really trying to burn through my resources, because I'm babying the shit out of this station, because I need to get I invested, I saved up a bunch of tasks, and I idled this station for a while, probably like 4 or 5 hours, but I ended up getting my work shed made here, and now I'm getting my passive resources. So I'm flaring, I'm turning around and taking the flares and putting them back into the station itself, which is getting my 2 mining facilities up and running with my 2 repair drone cards. And then all those resources, like my focus is going to be nothing but getting my frac head leveled up, getting station hall. You guys can pause this. Station hall leveled up. This is passive station harvest rate, which is, it's just more resources. And then eventually we're going to get industrial complex, which combos with our refineries. We're going to get Zeracha here, RG, and possibly, I think, New Horizons here, or I might even try Orbital. So Orbital, with touching on the heavy ship assembly, or your ability to make heavy ships, your Orbital Symphonica, you can see this reduces cost of building ships by 10%. So any heavies, if you have this tier 4 military org, which means you need 6 military buildings, it will affect how fast you make heavies. So not only do you got your 7-point moon combo here, But if you get orbital on this thing too, it makes your heavies even faster. So that's just another layer to this game. Paying attention to the moon combos, paying attention to the org combos. You guys get the idea. So you guys, new guys, I know that's a lot of information, but dissect this thing. Like I've said, I know it's a meme, I know it's funny. Make some notes and choose, especially if you're new, if you're going to be doing some raiding, if you're going to be doing some flaring. And then the last real thing I want to touch on, you guys can go watch my other videos on running missions and stuff, is at least get out. So here at my starter, we'll get back out here. Is this my starter? Yeah. Start to run missions. At least get like 25 patrols, 25 corvettes, and 25 scouts at any station that you have. And what you're trying to do is you're just running missions. You can start running level 1 missions, no problem. And you can either drop probes. So if you have a scout, one single scout, and then one single ship in it, and then you've got the veteran scout card that you can just get from mission caches, or you can make one for pretty cheap, and it lasts for 2 days. You can drop your own probes, and just with that veteran scout card, you can start revealing your missions. Or if you want to auto reveal missions, you just need your communication array at your capital, a level 5 communication array at your capital, because your capital is a very unique station. Not only can it has a scan radius, passive scan radius of 10, so that means that the station itself is lighting up and giving you vision around the proximity of that tile, 10 range. And when you make the communication array to level 5, it's going to give you 200? That's 100. So this would be increases the station scan strength by 20. So you'd need this level 10. So yes, that's my fault. So you'd need communication array to level 10 in order to get you 200 scans. No, I take that back. My mistake. So your capital already gets 100 scan strength. So that's another thing that's unique about it, is it already gets 200 or 100, and then when you get the communication array to level 5, that's another 100. That's 200 scan strength, and then you can start. It will automatically reveal level 1 missions, and you start running missions from here. So to kind of recap, we'll look at this real quick. So we're at 23 recap. So to recap, we went over a little bit of rating. If you choose to do that, the acquisitions, the fleet docks is a good combo. Your policy cards, if you choose to run flares, and you send your station out here around a bunch of suns, light them up, start making industrials, get some cards that help focus on that. But your main concern is pulling those resources and putting them back into your stations to start getting your passive resources up, by either making a workshed station like I am doing, which gives you these. You guys can take a little picture of this. You can see this 5 range, or this 3 range mining facility. You can see the resources there, what it's making, and you get 2 of these. If you don't have the workshed, the other option you have is the mining colony station. So you're pulling all those resources from flaring and putting them into a mining colony, and then getting your resources there. And then obviously there's other outposts in the game that help with like the trading port that you just put. It acts just like a mining facility, but it's only 1 range, and it helps gather passive resources as well. So that's just another thing that you invest in to get online, and then you start focusing on getting your stations built up for an economy. So static resources on the map, you throw them into your station, you start building your station's passive resources up, and then that really gets the ball rolling for helping you with your, if you're going workshed into a mining colony station, you've got the passive resources to dump into another station, and you just starts compounding extremely fast. So that's kind of the the gist of it, crew. That's gonna be enough for this one. My only other thing I really want to comment on is, you guys have any questions, tag myself, tag any one of the mentors in the Discords. And the biggest piece of advice I have for you guys is just get on an alliance. You new guys, the only way you're going to learn is asking questions, figuring out how the tools in game work. So you hold down Alt, and it gives you this little tool that gives you this range tool that kind of helps you figure out the fields or moons, like 4 range for a mining colony, like here, or 3 range for your mining or your workshed mining facilities. Or if you are trying to figure out ice, so you got these little ice fields out here, figuring out where you want your dome to go. So you got habitation domes are 4 range, so you can kind of plan, if you're going to plan on capturing this NPC with a troop carrier and then looking for the best position for a dome. It's all pre-planning, and all this stuff takes conversation, and it really helps to be on a team. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Up there across the way, actually maybe above me, is going to be my series for my Busted series that goes over all this stuff. And I would emphasize you guys go watch episode 4 of the Busted series. It goes over how big these stations can get for passive resources. Stations that have 12,000, 13,000, 14,000 crystal or metal to really get you off and running into your build, so you're not necessarily reliant on flaring and you're more focused on using your labor for fighting. The mid game goal is to get away from flaring and raiding and more focusing on fighting. So till next time, guys, leave a like, leave me some comments if you guys want me to make any more of these. I might make a few more of these, I'm not sure, but for right now I thought this would be a good start. Leave me some support. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, guys, check out my Discord. I've got bunches of 3, 4, 5 years of material there from playing, and outdated, current, updated guides, and you guys can always ping me. Peace out, guys.